Hi, boys and girls. Today I've got a story called Caps for Sale, and this is written by Esphyr Slobodkina, and she was from Russia. This is what the cover looks like. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on his head. First he had on his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Whoa, he'd have to keep him balanced, wouldn't he? He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. But he began to feel very hungry, for he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so he didn't upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, and then the brown caps, and then the blue caps, and then the red caps way up on top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Uh-oh, look at his head. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. Oh, all he felt was his own checkered cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps, please." But the monkeys only stomped their feet back at him and said, "You're right. Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was really very angry. He stomped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped both their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap So the peddler picked up his caps, put them back at, oh, I'm sorry, I missed a page. Okay. All the gray caps were blown down, all the brown caps were thrown down, all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. Woohoo! That's just what he wanted, isn't it? So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. I hope you enjoyed the story. I'll see you later.